Today, the trial for a man accused of killing his wife in Broomfield is set to begin. Last December, Daniel Krug called police saying he hadn't heard from his wife in a few hours. An officer went to the home for a welfare check and found his wife, Crystal, dead inside. An autopsy report shows she was stabbed in the chest. During the investigation, police found threatening emails that Crystal received came from an IP address linked to Daniel's workplace. Police arrested Daniel. He now faces charges including first-degree murder and 2 counts of stalking. Often domestic violence victims can feel isolated and alone. Now there's a free app online that's like having a supportive friend 24/7.
Yeah, that's right. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us now live. And Courtney, this app is really interesting. It actually understands controlling behavior during and after a relationship.
Yeah, it truly is amazing. Good morning, Jordan and Corey. This app is called Amy Says, and it's meant to help domestic violence victims whenever they need support. It's an AI companion, so it acts like a chat bot, and it's compassionate and non-judgmental. Now, Amy Says can recognize coercive behavior, narcissistic abuse, and domestic violence. She's an expert who can help survivors in the moment and give them next steps towards safety when they're ready. You can copy and paste messages from an abuser for Amy to analyze and draft a response. You can ask her for advice, resources, or even have her help you write a victim impact statement. Anything you ask or tell Amy is private and confidential. The app helps empower survivors and validates their experiences. Andrea Thompson has been using Amy Says for a couple of months. She's used the app to help de-escalate situations over text and much more. But most of all, she says the app has given her hope.
It's been very validating. I think sometimes you try to share experiences with people that don't quite understand what you're dealing with. And my interactions with Amy have been very validating, and I feel like I'm interacting with something that understands me.
Amy Says was created here in Denver. It's free for anyone to use online. The app's co-founder and co-creator believes it has the potential to save lives by getting domestic violence victims help faster. We'll hear from her coming up at 7 o'clock. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Courtney, thank you.
Well, fresh off former President Donald Trump's visit to Southern California, authorities there say they arrested a man with guns on his way to a Trump rally. This happened Saturday night at a security checkpoint near Coachella, California. Right now, federal officials say that they are not considering this an assassination attempt, but the local sheriff says he disagrees.
What we do know is he showed up with multiple passports with different names, an unregistered vehicle with fake license plate, and loaded firearms. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt.
The suspect was cited and released on weapons charges. Authorities say that he appears to be a member of a far-right anti-government group. Federal officials are not considering it an assassination attempt because the former president was not on site yet, and it occurred at a checkpoint a quarter-mile away.
Today, former President Trump will participate in a town hall in Battleground, Pennsylvania as Election Day quickly approaches. Last night, he campaigned in Arizona, ramping up his attacks against Vice President Harris and the Biden administration, particularly over its immigration policies.
If Kamala gets 4 more years, the entire country will be turned into a migrant camp, and that's what's happening. Millions and millions of people. When I win on November 5th, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins.
During that rally, the National Border Patrol Council endorsed Trump for president. The former president also encouraged the crowd to participate in early voting. Election Day is now just 22 days away.
Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris rallied thousands of North Carolina voters yesterday at East Carolina University in Greenville. Harris reminding the arena that the election is in the home stretch, and Donald Trump has refused to release his medical records and questioned whether his staff is trying to, quote, hide him away.
One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on?
On Saturday, VP Harris visited Raleigh to help pack hurricane relief supplies for those impacted by Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina. The vice president is now back in Washington, but will continue to hit the campaign trail hard this week with stops in Erie, Pennsylvania today and Detroit on Tuesday. New numbers show Trump and Harris are in a dead heat. A new poll from NBC News shows both candidates have 48% support from registered voters. Another 4% say they are still undecided or won't vote for either candidate. It's good news for Trump, who was trailing Harris in the previous NBC national poll last month. When asked was the biggest factor for choosing a candidate, the top issue for voters was abortion, followed by immigration.
Catching lung cancer early could now be as easy as coughing into a cup, a new at-home screening test helping doctors determine next steps in days rather than months. The Journal of Health Economics says the test could save each patient nearly $3,000 as well. According to the CDC, 10 to 20% of lung cancers happen in non-smokers in the U.S. That's roughly 20 to 40,000 lung cancer cases every year. Researchers say secondhand smoke contributes to about 7,300 of those cases, and radon contributes to about 2,900 of these lung cancers.
Well, we've got an update on a nationwide recall for you this morning, impacting nearly 10 million pounds of ready-to-eat meat and poultry products. We now know that the list of products included in the recall includes some prepackaged salads, sandwich wraps, and frozen meals sold at Walmart, Trader Joe's, Sam's Club, and Aldi stores. This is all due to concerns over a listeria contamination for products from meat producer Bruce Pack. So far, there are no confirmed reports of illnesses. We also want to point out that this outbreak is separate from the listeria outbreak connected to Boar's Head Deli meat.
All right, well, as you're heading out the door this morning, one thing to note is it's going to be a hot one. Despite our chilly start, we're going to see those temperatures climb all the way into the 80s, approaching our record high for the day. But don't fret, we do have some rain chances coming up in our forecast, with even the chance of some mountain snow.
Lauren, thank you. Right now, it is a parking lot on the interstate north of the metro area. This is one of our cameras at northbound I-25 approaching Prospect Road. It's about just a mile south of Prospect Road this morning. So approaching Fort Collins area, we are dealing with a full closure of northbound I-25 between Highway 68 and Prospect Road. So this is just kind of a look at the parking lot that we're dealing with on the interstate. You could consider taking Frontage Road that kind of runs parallel to the interstate as a workaround option if you need to travel this way. We don't have too many details about the crash this morning, only that northbound I-25 is shut down. We're working to get Sky 9 open up and over it to get a better idea of what we're dealing with the scene. But as far as what you need to know right now, this is definitely one of the spots you want to avoid this morning.
All right, Erica, we appreciate you staying on top of that one. Thank you. A lot of people flew in and out of DIA on Sunday, so much so that it's become the second busiest travel day of the year so far. DIA estimates nearly 90,000 people passed through security checkpoints. They say it's due to the fall break or school districts as well as leaf peeping season. The busiest day, both this year and on record, was July 7th. That's when TSA screened over 93,000 people.